Welcome to Aptitude for Placements, and my name is Ranjit. I have conducted this aptitude training program at various engineering colleges all over India, and every year thousands of students get placed by attending this aptitude training program. Here you will find all the questions that are commonly encountered in most of the aptitude tests. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of these tests. So just familiarize yourself with all these questions and you will have a clear advantage when you attempt your actual placement test. Let's start. A team of 4 students are to be selected from 7 students, namely RS, TU, XY and Z. The following conditions should be satisfied. If R is selected, T must also be selected. So I'll represent it like this. If R is selected, R implies T. If R is selected, then T should also be selected. So this is one condition. Then if S is selected, U must also be selected. So S implies U. So if S is selected, then U should also be selected. If X and Y are both selected, then T cannot be selected. So if X and Y are both selected, then you cannot select T. Then T cannot be selected. So we have got all the data. Now we can start with the questions. If X and Y are both selected, who among the following must also be selected? Now this is the list of selected people and this is the list of not selected people. Now X and Y are both selected. So you have X and Y here, they have both been selected. Now if both X and Y are selected, then T cannot be selected. So in the list of people who are not selected, you have T here. Now the other information given is if R is selected, then T necessarily should be selected. Now T cannot be selected. Now if R is selected, T has to be selected. Since T cannot be selected, R cannot be selected. So in the list of people who are not selected, you will have R also. Now altogether 7 people are there. 4 of them already accounted here. X and Y have been selected, R and T are not selected. So the remaining people are S, U and Z. Now out of these remaining 3 people, exactly 2 of them are to be selected because out of the 7 people, exactly 4 of them are to be selected. So out of these 3, 2 of them are to be selected. So one possible outcome is S and U are selected. So we are satisfying all the conditions. If R is selected, T has to be selected. In this case, R is not selected. So this becomes invalid. If R is not selected, T may or may not be selected. S is selected and U is also selected. So here also this is satisfied. So this is one outcome, X, Y, S and U. One more outcome is there. We can have X, Y and then you can have U and Z. So again we can see we are satisfying all the rules. If R is selected, T has to be selected. R is not selected, so this rule becomes invalid. If S is selected, U has to be selected. In this case, S is not selected. If S is not selected, U may or may not be selected. So we are not violating this rule either. So these are the 2 possible outcomes for the remaining 2 people. So you can see in both the cases, U necessarily have to be selected. So if X and Y have to be selected, among the remaining 2 people, compulsorily U should be there. That must be true. So who among the following must be selected as U? So that is option D, U is the right answer. If S and Z are both selected, each of the following could also be selected except. So we have to identify the one who cannot be selected. So in the list of selected people, you have both S and Z. So S and Z, they have both been selected. Now if S is selected, then U should also be selected. So in this list, you must have U also. Now out of the 7 people, exactly 4 of them are to be selected. Now these 3 already have been selected. U has been selected because S has already been selected. Now only one more person can be selected again. Now if that one person is R, then along with R there should be T also. Then there will be 5 people, which means that the 4th person cannot be R. If it is R, we'll have one more extra person, it will become 5 people. Now that is not allowed, only 4 people can be selected. So the one who cannot be selected is option A, R. If U is not selected, who among the following cannot be selected? Now if S is selected, U necessarily should be selected. Now U cannot be selected, U is not selected. So which implies that S also cannot be selected. Because if S is selected, U should be there and U is not selected. So S cannot be selected. So if U is not selected, the one who cannot be selected is option B, S. Let me briefly explain how to prepare for your aptitude test. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with all the questions that have been worked out here. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of the aptitude tests. After that, you need to attempt practice tests. According to me, you need to attempt at least 10 practice tests before your actual placement test. Here, I will be giving you 10 practice tests, and these practice tests will be ideal for you to improve your test scores. The 10 practice tests are available at a cost of only Rs 200. So all that you need to do is make a payment of Rs 200 either through Google Pay or through PhonePe or through Paytm, and you will receive the 10 practice tests. The details of the payment comes next.